All right, and we're live. Gentlemen, here we are, 37 strategies to optimize sleep, boost testosterone, and increase your energy every goddamn day. Now, if you see in this video, this is a recording. It's Monday, the 15th of May. You signed up for my LinkedIn Live for last week, but it was a monumental cock-up. One, my laptop died in the middle of the presentation, and two, we didn't record with sound. So I'm fingers crossed the sound is going to be okay. But I'm recording this again, as I promised. There were 79 of you registered for the event. So I promised I would get this to you at some point this week. And I'm recording it now, and I'll send it out to you. So ignore this beginning bit, and we'll get straight on into it. Throughout the whole presentation, I was talking as if I was live. It's irrelevant. It's irrelevant. There's no questions going to come up. None of you are going to come on. Ignore what I'm about to say. But what I can say is this. If you want to book a call with me anytime, you want to talk about your health, fitness, weight loss, what's working, what's not working, if you've got any questions at all, please go ahead and book a call at gavgillibrand.com/book a call. This is a no strings, no obligation call. I promise you, not a sales call. It's a 15-minute call to get you on the right track. If you're struggling with something in your health, fitness, and weight loss journey, something's not working, I'll tell you exactly what I do with my clients to get you moving. Some of you will want to work with me, but that's cool. But for the ones that don't, just want to get some answers, make sure you go ahead and book that call. All right, guys, now let's get into the good stuff. All right, this is what you're here for. 37 strategies to optimize sleep, boost testosterone, and increase your energy. And I'll let you into a little secret. I said 37 strategies. There's actually a lot more than that. There's a lot more info, but it sounded very good when I was putting the slides together. It sounds good to have an odd number when you're doing the marketing. So there's a lot more than 37. I didn't actually count, but some great stuff on sleep. We're going to look at sleep first, and we're going to look at testosterone and what we can do to do that. And both of those two combined are going to massively increase your energy. All right, let's get into the good stuff. So this is what we're going to look at. We're going to look at sleep, lack of sleep, books, sleep disruptors, how to mitigate bad sleep, strategies for great sleep, some nutrition and supplements, some sleep hacks, and then we're going to look at the bedtime ritual, which is absolutely paramount. It's key to having good quality sleep. So first of all, let's look at lack of sleep. And you know, sleep is the number one thing that you can do for your health on all levels: mental, physical, and emotional health. And there's some people say there's 3 pillars of health: sleep, nutrition, and exercise. I believe there's actually only 2 pillars, but I believe the base is sleep. I believe sleep is the foundation that we need to build our lives from, and then nutrition and exercise are the 2 pillars that stand above sleep. Because you can be training well, you can be eating well, but if your sleep is poor, it's going to affect every area of your life. Okay, you can't get away with poor sleep. Well, you can, but it's going to show up in a negative way throughout the rest of your life. And actually, the WHO, the World Health Organization, actually put sleep down as a carcinogen risk, which means it's got double the chance of getting cancer. It suppresses your immune system as well. There's an increased risk of Alzheimer's, stroke, and HD, which is heart disease. And here's the big thing with regards to losing weight. Excuse me. It messes with 2 important hormones, leptin and ghrelin. Now, I know they sound like 2 characters of the Lord of the Rings, but they're not. They are our hunger hormone. Leptin is our satiety hormone, and ghrelin is our appetite hormone. So leptin will signal that you're full, you've had enough to eat. Ghrelin will signal that you want to eat. It brings on that feeling of hunger. It makes you feel like I need to eat. The problem is when you get bad sleep for several nights in a row, it really messes with the balance of that. And what you get is an appetite that can't be satisfied. So you feel hungry all the time, and your body is saying, eat more, I need more food. So it really messes up with those 2 hormones, which, you imagine from a losing weight perspective or trying to control your calories, is an absolute nightmare. So this is what happens when someone is very overweight and has poor sleep and all a host of things that are going on. They almost feel like it's just not their fault. Their brain is literally taking over, and it almost is. Poor sleep often leads to less energy the next day, which often leads to less movement and could lead to less fat loss or more weight gain, possibly. It really depends. And you can override it. You can have absolutely terrible sleep, but if you still get to the gym and control your calories, you're still going to lose body fat. But is it going to be optimal? Is the quality of life going to be there? And we know for a fact that it just won't be. Okay, a few books. Why We Sleep by Matthew Walker and Sleep Smarter by Sean Stevenson. Both fantastic books. If I was going to recommend one over the other, I would go with Why We Sleep by Matthew Walker. Literally every page, jaw-dropping. Oh my God, I can't believe this. Some of the information I've got from today has come from Matthew Walker. I first saw him on Joe Rogan's podcast about 4 years ago, actually, and he's still actually doing the rounds with all the top experts. So I definitely recommend getting Why We Sleep by Matthew Walker. So let's look at some of the main things that disrupt sleep. Now, you guys will know this, but I just want to go over some of the basics because, like anything in life, most people know the information, but they don't necessarily follow through with it. So there's one thing, knowing information, but information is nothing unless you implement them. So we're going over the basics. So some of the main things that disrupt sleep in your diet: coffee, alcohol, and late night sleeping. So first of all, coffee. Coffee has got, well, it's an excellent drink, but it's best to have them before midday. It's got a half-life of around 6 hours, which means, let's say you have coffee in the morning and it's 200 milligrams. 6 hours later, half the coffee, so 100 milligrams, will still be present. 100 milligrams of caffeine will still be present in your bloodstream. So if you're having a coffee at 4 p.m, come 10 p.m, you're still going to have quite an active amount of caffeine in your blood system. And if you're sleeping poorly, it's going to affect the quality of your sleep. Alcohol, look, we know it really disrupts sleep. We want to have alcohol no later than 3 hours before bedtime, which is almost impossible. So it's a case of minimizing the days that you have alcohol. And late night eating. Look, late night eating won't make any difference to your actual weight gain or weight loss. As in, eating after 8 p.m. or 9 p.m. won't help you or cause you to store more body fat. But having a big meal will definitely affect the quality of sleep, because whenever we eat, there's a rate of thermogenesis. And what this means, we'll actually heat up the body. Is how we generate energy, how we keep warm. Going to bed whilst your body's trying to digest that food, going to keep your body temperature raised, and we don't want that. Okay, we want to keep your body cool, and we're going to talk about different techniques. So coffee, alcohol, late night eating are going to affect your sleep. Stress, look, it's obvious. With work, family, and life, how many people are laying in bed every night thinking, I've got to do this tomorrow, I'm worrying about this. It's one of the biggest disruptors of sleep. And here's the big thing. This is the bad boy that is causing a lot of the problems. The blue light from your laptop, your phone, TV to a certain extent, blocks melatonin. Okay, melatonin is a little hormone that is released from a gland, pineal gland, right in the center of your brain there. As soon as it starts to get dark, the body switches on and thinks, okay, it's time to sleep, releases melatonin. So by having this artificial blue light from screens, TV, even normal light, it delays that and affects the quality of the melatonin that's released, or even rather not the quality, the amount of melatonin that's released. And this will interrupt your sleep, will stop you falling asleep as quickly as you could have. Okay, let's say you have a terrible night's sleep, which is going to happen. Life, right? What can you do the morning after? So we're looking at some of the things that you can do to mitigate the fact that you've had a terrible night's sleep. So the first thing you want to do before coffee, if you like coffee that is have 1 liter of water. And you want to get a little sprinkle of sea salt. Just sprinkle it in. If it tastes salty, it's too much. You don't want to taste it, but just enough. And what that'll do will actually help you to retain the water. You're going to digest it better rather than going in and out the other. You're actually going to hold on to water. So this is what we want to do on the morning after. You'll be able to utilize and hydrate better. And the sea salt is actually going to help you with some rehydration, which is what we want. What you could do is add some electrolytes as well. And you can buy them from the chemist or from any decent sports store, like a running store. Some electrolytes is really going to help to rehydrate you, which is what you want when you've had a bad night's sleep. We would still want to have some coffee, but again, we want to have 2 coffees maximum before midday, because we talked about the half-life of coffee. We don't want to have another poor night's sleep. So coffee is great. It's an ergogenic aid. It will speed up your metabolism to a certain extent. It will make you alert. It will boost your mind capacity and power. Absolutely, there's no doubt. Okay, but again, the devil is in the dose. Too many and too late is going to affect your sleep. Get out first thing in the morning. Get some sunlight into your eyes. Okay, so move your ass in the sun. Blatantly says there. Okay, you want to eat some protein, low fat. This will release orexin, which is a neuropeptide, which aids in energy and wakefulness and alertness. Okay, so lots of protein, keep your low diet, low fat, or release orexin, and a couple of supplements: activated charcoal and 1,000 milligram of curcumin, which is turmeric extract. Okay, these have been shown to actually help you with recovering from a bad night's sleep. Try it. I've tried all of those. In fact, that's what I do if I have a bad night's sleep. It's exactly what I do. Okay, now it's easier said than done, like anything. Information is one thing, implementation is another. Let's look at some strategies for great sleep. Okay, first of all, we're going to look at nutrition supplements. We're going to cover this, but I actually want to say this ahead of time. We need to get your sleep ritual in place before we actually implement these. So possibly I should have put that slide first, but it's just come into my head. I know that I'll mention it later on, but we're going to look at the supplements, but there's no point chucking a load of supplements at the situation unless you get the basics in place. Okay. So nutrition, sleep enhancing foods. We want to have a diet that's rich in cold water fish. That's things like salmon, mackerel, herring, sardines, anchovies, all of these cold water fish, high in vitamin D and high in omega-3 fatty acids, which can help to boost serotonin, which will aid with your sleep. Dark berries and cherries have been shown to increase melatonin from some of the studies I've shown. I've done both of those, but I haven't had a kiwi before bed. I found a couple of studies showing that it will increase sleep quantity and quality. So if you want to go to bed tonight, get a kiwi out literally the moment you turn the light out, and it could help. I'm joking, of course, but get a kiwi. It's great for great vitamin C actually in kiwi. Some more supplements or ideas. Have a light dinner, but we want to have your dinner high carb. Now, contrary to what people think, carbohydrates, one, they don't make you fat, and spiking glucose and insulin doesn't make you fat, despite the fact that insulin is actually a fat storage hormone, because you can only gain body fat if you're in a surplus, regardless of the blood glucose and insulin spike. So what we want to do is have a carb-heavy dinner. Contrary to what people think, you want to keep your carbs lower during the day and really have carbs in and around training. If you're doing weight training or a run or any type of exercise, in and around exercise, and have your largest carb meal 7, 8, 9 p.m. whenever you have your dinner. What it will do, it will make you sleepy. We've all had that, jacket potato or pasta at lunchtime, and then by 3 o'clock we're falling asleep in that armchair or the office chair, rather. Okay, so we want to spike the glucose. We want to spike that insulin late at night. It will aid us into sleep. We want to consume adequate protein. I talk about protein all day long, and this will release neurochemicals called tryptophan, serotonin, and melatonin we've touched on, slow release carbs, oats, legumes, sweet potato, and we want to limit high fat and rich foods. Okay. Some more supplements we can look at. Tryptophan, that is actually, you can get that from turkey if you have a good amount of turkey, but it will aid with sleep. Multi, that contains B complex vitamins. Now, multivitamin, not just for sleep, it's one of the best things you can do from all round health. But what we don't want is to buy one of those one a day from Boots or Tesco's, or I'm not sure of the main sort of bog standard chemist in the US. Is it something VC? I can't think. Sorry, I should have researched that. But don't get it from your chemist. Don't get one a day for 15, 20 bucks. You're going to spend between $40 and $60 if you're in the US, 30 or 50 pounds in the UK, and get a good quality multivitamin that has a great range of B complex vitamins for overall health. Okay, you can look at adding magnesium and zinc into the mix, And I've actually mentioned melatonin in the supplement form, and I've said 3 to 12 grams because that's some of the doses that I've seen on some of the tablets, but I do not recommend that you take melatonin. Please do not supplement melatonin if you sleep bad, even though that we release melatonin, because look, melatonin is a hormone. When you start supplementing yourself, it will actually turn off your own production of melatonin. We don't want that. We do not want to interfere with that hormone. Okay. The only time you should take melatonin is if you're jet lagged, and I'm going to talk about a jet lag protocol in a couple of slides. So I do not recommend melatonin. Vitamin D, 2 to 4,000 IUs every day. I have 4,000 IUs every day. One, hormone health, sex drive. It's easy to say what vitamin D doesn't do, but increase your vitamin D will definitely help with sleep quality. And THC oil. Now, here's one you have to be careful of. THC is actually the psychoactive part of cannabis. You've got CBD, which is the non-psychoactive, so you don't get high. But THC oil, you will, if you have enough, will actually be tripping your balls. Actually, I've got a little confession to make. I took a tiny bit too much, and I'm talking a rice drop, size of a rice grain. I was on a train and I came up on this THC oil, and I was paranoid and thinking everyone was looking, started sweating, and it was powerful, powerful stuff. Half a rice grain, and a couple hours before bed, sleep like a baby. But I'm not going to go out and tell you to buy some THC oil, because certainly in the UK it's illegal, which is stupidly. I know some states in America it's still illegal. Some it's completely legal, which it should be. But that's another debate or another live for another time. I'm not going to go into the pros and the cons of that. But if you wanted to look at some suggestions around that, drop me a mail. I'm more than happy to actually help you out where I got my stuff from and how I can help and look at that. But we have to be careful with this one. Disclaimer: do not go and buy anything that's illegal that is going to cause problems in your country. Okay, I'll hold my hand up. It is illegal in the UK, but there we go. All right, some extra tips. This is really, really good. Magnesium salt bath. Magnesium in Epsom salts. You want to get a couple of cups of salt into your bath, and what it does, magnesium actually switches off the immune, not the immune system. I can't think. It's not the immune. The nervous system. Sorry, I had a complete mind blank there. Not the immune. We don't want the immune system switched off. The nervous system. What it does, it just helps relax your nervous system. So be careful of working out hard in the evening. Okay, but magnesium salt bath is one of the best things to do. Really helps you relax. Cold and a hot shower before bed. Some people respond to different things. I actually don't like a hot shower before bed. It tends to make me sweat and I don't cool down. But the research is showing if you have a very, very hot bath or a hot shower before bed, it will heat you externally, but the moment you drop out, your core temperature drops. So you actually go to bed colder than before you went in the shower. I personally like it the other way. If I was going to have a shower before I go to bed, which I don't, if I was going to, I would have a colder one or a cooler one and then get into bed. I sleep actually okay as long as I've got the room, the window open, and it's reasonably chilly, about 19-20 degrees, and I sleep very well. Chili pad, which is just a cooling blanket you can put on one half of the bed, so you don't have to cool the whole bed down. If your partner likes it warmer or cooler, you can have it at your temperature. But go to chilitechnology.com. I've not actually used that piece of kit, but the reviews are amazing. Meditation is one of the best things if you're struggling with sleep. And grounding, socks off. Look, the Earth has electromagnetic core, and this can really help with getting that electromagnetic into our body, and it can actually help, again, shut down the nervous system and aid with sleep. Get your socks off, get outside. I know that's a little woo-woo, might be a bit out there for some of you. I'm just bringing in the tips. You don't have to use them, but it's very, very helpful. I talked about this before. Before you look at nutrition and supplements, you've got to fix your habits and your sleep hygiene. We're going to look at the sleep ritual now. But first, Well, someone says I can't go to bed earlier. Here's what we don't want to do. Let's say you go to bed at midnight at the moment. I know some of you do, and you really want to think about bringing your bedtime to, maybe to 11, maybe even to 12 o'clock, to 10 o'clock. Sorry. What you don't do is go from 12 to 10. Otherwise, you literally will be staring at the ceiling. Okay, we don't want to do that. We want to bring your bedtime forward by 15 minutes for 1 week. So if you're going at 12 o'clock midnight, bring it forward to 11:45 for 1 week, and then bring it forward 30 minutes for another week, bring it forward the hour, and so on. So you're almost like weaning yourself you're building up into it, allowing your body clock and your circadian rhythm to adjust to the new bedtime. One of the best things you can do is actually go to bed at the same time and get up at the same time. So let's say you go to bed at 11, get up at 6. If you did that, or whatever your time schedule is, if you do that 7 days a week, it's one of the best ways to aid great sleep. All right, before we crack on, guys, if any of you want a copy of the slides and also a cheat sheet, PDF cheat sheet I've got, feel free to email me at hello@gavgillibrand.com, and I'll get you a copy of these slides if you want to look at them, or if you want this cheat sheet. There's some great topics on sleep, stress, alcohol, building muscle, cardio, calorie deficit, nutrition. There's some training plans in there, some body weight stuff on there. So if you want a copy of that PDF, by all means, just drop me a quick email and I'll get it over to you. Okay. All right, creating a bedtime ritual. Talked about this earlier on. Okay, 1 hour before, no screens, no checking emails or the gram. Next, you want to dim the lights, read a book, keep the room cool, have sex with your wife if she's there. If not, I'm only joking. All of this before 10 p.m. or 11 p.m., whatever time your chosen bedtime is. Rinse and repeat every night. That's what I mean by creating a ritual. You can't, if you've got bad sleep, or you're a poor sleeper, you can't do these techniques once and expect it to change. The only way that you get good at anything is creating that ritual, and that means doing it over and over again. So you want to have that ritual, and you want to do it for a period of weeks before your body gets adjusted to it. Okay, but it will make a massive difference. And here's a good thing. We want to look at the 3-2-1 rule. I kind of touched on some of this before. 3 hours before bed, no alcohol. 2 hours before bed, no food, and 1 hour before bed, no artificial light. 3, 2, 1. If you did nothing else, but you did those 3 things, it would make a big difference to your sleep quality, especially the no artificial light. Turn that screen time off. At the very least, we should all be switching this off, laptops off, TV off, no screen time before. That alone would make a big difference to the sleep quality of some people. Okay, so 3-2-1 rule, remember that one. Here's my top 9 strategies for good sleep. Okay, my top 9. No caffeine before 2 p.m. No booze 3 hours before. Now, I touched on this before. Bed and getting up at the same time every day. The best thing to regulate your circadian rhythm. And your circadian rhythm, if you're not sure what that is, that's just really your internal body clock. Okay, keep the room temperature cool, eliminate all screen use before bed, dim the lights, read a book in bed, and exercise in the morning. Those would be my top 9. If I was going to look at something, put some type of ritual in the diary every day, those would be my top 9 strategies for good sleep. Let's look at some jet lag top tips. Okay, now some of this is going to seem a bit out there, and some of this can be like, I'm never going to do that. But if you suffer with jet lag, I know that I do, or I did, until I unleashed or deployed these various tactics. It's definitely worth looking at. Long haul, obviously, jet lag. Fast on the flight, easier said than done. The reason this works is digestion is actually a very, very expensive process in the body. So especially if you're having all that processed food on the flight, and let's say you're flying overnight when you're meant to be in bed, you're taking on those 2 or 3 meals, maybe a bit of alcohol, eating through the night. Try this. Don't go to bed tonight, and then just get up, go and have a meal at 1 o'clock, then have another meal at 5 a.m., then try and get to sleep in the next day. See how you feel. Maybe have a little bit of alcohol, maybe have a coffee as well, because you're waking up at no wonder it messes us up. Okay, so fast on the flight, just drinking water. Easy said than done. No stimulants, so no alcohol, no coffee, no tea. And you want to stay up until the bedtime on the new time zone. You arrive in the morning and you know it's really 7, 8 o'clock in your morning and it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It's hard. You need to stay up there. Try and get to 8, 9 p.m. if you can on the local time. This is when you deploy the melatonin. Do not take 12 grams, despite the label or the tablet or the direction. Do not fucking take 12 grams melatonin. Take 3 grams melatonin. You're still going to feel a bit groggy, but it will really help. So the only time you want to be taking melatonin is jet lag. 3 to 5 liters of water on the long haul flight. Yes, you're pissing like a racehorse, up and down. So maybe get an aisle seat, but it will make a huge difference. On arrival at the new time zone, the first thing you want to do is have a cold shower and go for a walk at the minimum. Go for a walk, maybe go to the gym. Might not be what you want to do, but go and walk for 20 minutes around the block a couple of times. What that does, you're going to get some sunlight into your brain, into your eyes. You're going to breathe some oxygen. You're going to generate energy, some endorphins. You're going to feel better. It's going to make a massive difference to your system. Okay, and avoid sulfur-rich foods and booze on the first day. I know that you're going to have a drink on the other days, but avoid it on the first night before you go to bed. You can get an oxytocin nasal spray. A couple of sprays up the nose can help to boost melatonin. And next day, act like it's a normal day. Change your phone, change your clock. Stop saying, oh, it would be this time back in London, or it would be this time back in the US. Don't say that. Just crack on. What time is it? Okay, cool. And almost ignore it. Ignore how you feel. It's the best way to get back onto the local time zone. Hope that helps. All right, here's the action steps I want you to take away from this, guys. I want you to pick 3 habits to focus on and change them, and don't do all of them. So go and look at what resonates with you the most. Maybe it's no coffee, setting bedtime and getting up at the same time, and maybe reading a book. But choose 3 and work on those for 2 weeks. Nail those, and then you can start to add more into the ritual. If you say, right, here's 9 things that I need to do, you're going to do them all badly, and some of them you're not going to do at all. Then you're going to beat yourself up saying, I can never stick to a routine. So remember, it's never in anything. It's never about the quantum leap. It's by doing 1, 2, or 3 things, but doing them well, doing them consistently so they become a habit. Then you can start to add other things in. Okay? All right. That's sleep. Testosterone, and we'll get this wrapped in the next 10-15 minutes. Okay, testosterone is the king. It's the daddy. It's the male sex hormone. As men, we need good amounts of it. And unfortunately, it is declining as we get older. Every single year, we're on a slow, steady decay into middle age, into old age, and then death. It's just the truth. Anyway, I don't want to be all doom and gloom. What can we do to boost it? But if you're not sure what testosterone is, it's the male sex hormone. And it's responsible for a lot of things. You can read it there, but I'm going to tell them. Energy, mood, building muscle, brain function, sexual function, fertility, red blood cells, and fat distribution. Which means if you've got a good amount, average and above, you're going to get great levels of all of those. If you've got low testosterone, we're going to look at what you can do to mitigate that, how to boost it, naturally, and some medical intervention. If your testosterone is low in men, you feel shit. You will feel shit. Cognitively, drive, emotionally, can really, really mess you up. Okay, so we want to have good amounts. But look, what is testosterone? It's a chemical messenger that triggers changes in the body, and it's produced in your balls. Yes, chaps, the androgens are produced in the testicles, in the Leydig cells, and it's the main driver for regulating sperm production. So look, if you're at the age where you haven't had kids and you're thinking about it, we absolutely need to have this. And even if you got 10 children dotted all over the continents, we still want to have those balls that hang, don't we? We want to have healthy looking testicles, chaps, and it makes you feel good. So let's pay attention to this part. And it's sort of like a taboo little subject, isn't it? Talking about your balls and your testosterone, but it's very, very important. Okay, but let's look at low testosterone to start with, which is hypogonadism. High testosterone is hypergonadism. hypogonadism. So hypogonadism, reduced sex drive. ED is erectile dysfunction, low sperm count, and gynecomastia. And we're going to look at what gynecomastia is. So if you've got low testosterone, it can lead to loss of body hair, low muscle mass, strength, and an increase in body fat. So we don't want that. Losing muscle and increasing body fat. I've seen guys in their 40s and 50s that have got low testosterone, and they've done things, one, naturally to boost it, and they've looked at some medical interventions, TRT, which I'm going to talk about, and it's been a game changer. The signs of chronic low testosterone: osteoporosis, mood swings, reduced energy, and testicular shrinkage. Now, I don't know if that guy is actually holding a human testicle, set of balls. I hope he's not, but it looks good visually there, doesn't it? We don't want small balls. I don't, you don't. So what can cause low testosterone? Obviously, well, injury, castration, God forbid, infection, medication, too many painkillers, opiates can reduce your testosterone, diabetes obviously linked to that, kidney and liver disease, obesity. Let's touch on that. I'll put it in capitals. Look, obesity is the biggest driver of every degenerative disease that we know. If you're overweight and you're obese, the chances of you dying of some type of degenerative disease are tenfold across the board. Okay, they just are. We have to get rid of that body fat. Otherwise, you're heading for an early grave. And that is a reality, chaps. That is the reality. Okay. Now, T levels, testosterone levels, and aging. It almost looks very similar. The signs of aging almost look like hypogonadism. Okay. But testosterone levels fall 1.6% every year from 40 years old. And at age 60, just by default, it looks like we've got hypogonadism. So 4 out of 10 men have hypogonadism by age 45. We don't want this at age 45, chaps. I'm 49, 50 this year. Okay, I'm doing everything I can to fight, 1, aging, and 2, small balls and low testosterone. It's not a good look. There are things we can do. But here's some of the symptoms: diminished erections, decreased libido, mood changes, reduced cognitive function, fatigue, depression, brain fog, and anger. I've seen that in a lot of clients. That brain fog, the inability to concentrate, that inability to drive and push forward in business and life, decrease in muscle strength and hair, decrease in bone mass and mineral density, and increase in abdominal fat. It's not good. Low testosterone is not good. So late onset hypogonadism has become recognized medical condition, although many of the symptoms are associated with normal aging. Okay, so the two sort of go hand in hand. As we age, it almost looks like we've got low testosterone, and low testosterone almost presents itself with the similar sort of set of symptoms as we age. So they're very similar, but they're not, they're not directly related. As in, you can be aging, but still have a high level of testosterone if you do the right things. Okay, now I know it sounds a bit depressing, okay, but it's not all doom and gloom, because we can actually do things about this. So let's look at what we can do naturally. So how can we boost testosterone naturally? Well, the first thing we want to do is look at diet. High protein and a good quality level of saturated fat, and omega-3s as well. Okay, resistance training and regular cardio. So basically just get your ass to the gym 2 to 3 times a week for weight training, and cardio 2 or 3 times a week. We really want to have that to boost T levels naturally. Reduce alcohol, quality sleep, 6 to 8 hours for most people, a reduction in stress, daily sunlight, vitamin D supplement if you can't get sunlight. And guess what? The more sex you have, it's a bit like chicken and egg. When testosterone is low, libido is low, you tend to have less sex. But every time you have sex, testosterone rises, so you tend to want more sex and have more sex. So just by having sex, you're going to boost your testosterone as well. If you're lifting weights, you're eating well, and you're having sex, your T levels are naturally going to go up. Okay. But let's look at what we can do medically. And look, full disclaimer, I'm not a doctor. I can't prescribe TRT. I'm not going to say TRT is even right for you, but it could be. I'm just going to show what it is, how it works, how it could be something you want to look at, and you have to go and get a blood test and get a full check from an endocrinologist. So I'm not going to say that this is the right option for you. It's been the right option for many men that I've worked with. Okay, so let's look at what, how it could help you. So TRT, you've heard of it. It's testosterone replacement therapy. In women, it's HRT, hormone replacement therapy, when they go through the change. But for men, it's one of these things that's a bit taboo. Men, is it steroids? I don't want to be taking steroids. But look, if your T levels are low, this could be the thing that could be the game changer for many. Prescribed and monitored by a doctor. But as I said, there's the first step. Go and get a blood test. I am not a doctor. I like to think I am, but I'm not. Okay, so how does it work? Well, what happens? Your low levels are replaced with an exogenous source. Exogenous means it's outside the body. Endogenous means we create it naturally ourselves. So it's replaced with an exogenous source, usually self-administered. Creams, patches, or an injection. Little injection into the shoulder or into the glutes. Easy. And the average age of TRT users are between 45 and 50. Dramatic quality in life. Changes can be absolutely dramatic. It's worth looking at, chaps. Short-term benefit: heightened libido, sex drive, better erectile quality, strong like bull. We want that. Improvement in energy levels and cognitive function, more vitality, motivation, confidence throughout the day, better appetite regulation, and improved sleep quality. Okay, there's no downsides for the benefits. There are a few side effects which we'll look at, and you've got to be careful, but it's got to be monitored correctly. Okay, so long term, several months, more efficient muscle growth, enhanced recovery after exercising, fuller facial hair growth, better bone and joint health, increase in red blood cell, and improved immune function. Okay, so those are the benefits. But it is important to remember that TRT is not a one-size-fits-all treatment protocol. If your mate's on X amount of testosterone per month, per day, or per week, doesn't mean it's going to be right for you. The blood test will tell all. Blood will tell everything. Okay, the blood will give everyone the answers, and everyone's protocol is going to be completely different to the next person. Okay, side effects. There are, a couple of side effects, but as long as this is done correctly, it can be kept monitored very, very well. Okay, as long as the T levels are in a healthy range, side effects are very, very minimal. But let's look at the opposite: the large amount of cycle of anabolic steroids. Okay, guys have used steroids. I hold my hand up. In my 20s and early 30s, I did use steroids. Most of the guys did. I just was doing what most of the guys did in the gym. Okay, but there are side effects of steroids. Gyno, which is gynecomastia, which is where the breast tissue enlarges. High blood pressure, infertility, and more. Testicular shrinkage. What can happen even with the small amount of TRT, because the body is getting that exogenous source of testosterone, the balls will actually start to shrink. Okay, but you can offset that by taking HCG, which is human chorionic gonadotropin. And again, it's just a little injection that you can get from the doctors, and it will actually help to boost sperm production and keep your balls hanging low. And it's a fertility drug that's given to maintain fertility and testicular size. Okay, again, I'm not saying you need this, you should go and do this, but it's worth looking. Get a blood test from a doctor, find out if this could be, if you're experiencing some of those symptoms and you feel down and brain fog and you seem to be putting weight on and losing muscle mass. If you're in your late 40s, early 50s, definitely get a blood test, 100%, well worth it. Okay, but overall, TRT, testosterone replacement therapy, is a safe and effective form of hormone replacement therapy, and often a life-changing protocol for many, many chaps that do it. But here's a bit of fun thing. Look, everyone else is not having sex 5 nights a week. If you're not having sex, or you don't feel horny, or you're getting some sort of signs of erectile dysfunction, just realize that everyone is not rampantly having sex with their wife or girlfriend 5 nights a week. If you're in your late 40s, early 50s, and you've got a couple of kids, they're just not. Okay, so don't buy into it that that you're in a position that it's just, oh, my sex life is shit. But maybe your sex life is shit. If you're not having sex, probably at least once a week. Once a week, you should be able to try and get that in. But I can tell you they're not having it 5, 6 nights a week. Okay. All right, here's your action steps, and we're going to wrap it up, guys. And thanks for being with me. And if you've got to the end of this presentation, thank you. Get your blood done and ask for a full hormonal panel. Do your research, and it could be a game changer for you. All right, so we're going to wrap it. 40 minutes. Just quickly, if you want to book a call with me, chaps, go to gavgillibrand.com/book a call. It's a 15-minute, no obligation call. Health, fitness, fat loss, what's working, where you need help, just to get some ideas of where to move forward. And look, some guys that do this call will want to work with me in the future, but this call itself, keep your credit card in your pocket. It's not a sales call. So that's that first thing out of the way. If you want a copy of the slides and indeed the cheat sheet, the PDF, the 5 unknown weight loss hacks, we're going to look at alcohol, stress, testosterone, training, nutrition, there's diet plans, there's calorie counting, everything's in this cheat sheet. If you want a copy of that, by all means, email me, hello@gavgillibrand.com. You want to book a call, gavgillibrand.com, book a call. And if you don't want to do any of that, I just hope you watch this, this video. I hope you've taken some good stuff from it. By all means, drop me a line and I'll help you as much as I can. All right, guys, signing out. Promise you I'd get this recording to you. All the best. I'll see you soon. Bye.